Tuesday, April 7th, 2020. Hello, my name is Cairo Eubanks and I'm Miss Broward County 2020.
Hi, my name is Sudan Eubanks and I'm Florida's future outstanding teen.
And we are here to provide your uplifting news for the day. Now for our quotes. Our quote of the day is, "Some people arrive and make such a beautiful impact on your life, you can barely remember what life was like without them." I have some people in mind just right now, just thinking about that. They've become such an integral part of my life. I can't imagine life without them. They're indispensable and they add so much value to my life. What would you say, Sudan?
They're here to help you.
Yeah.
They make life easier and better to manage overall.
Absolutely. I completely agree. We're bringing some good news from Latin America today. The first headline is, "Fighting Gangs with Jobs. El Salvador nonprofit steers youth away from crime." Glasswing International, a nonprofit based in El Salvador, has found innovative ways to help over 1 million young Latin Americans avoid a life of crime and instead find employment. Glasswing International received the prestigious Skull Award for their efforts to provide therapy to adolescents before training them to work as bakers, electricians, and technicians. 1 out of every 2 people who complete the program have successfully obtained jobs. I think this is so wonderful because they're combining a vocational training and therapy to make sure that the people who go through the program are ready mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and I'm sure physically to do the job that they are now doing. So that is so wonderful. I think that's extremely innovative. What do you think, Sudan?
They're helping solve crime.
Yeah.
Helping the crime rate go down just
Absolutely.
by giving these people an opportunity to become better for themselves and for everybody else.
Absolutely, because we have to remember that there's no one way to get to success, right? Or to be able to find stability for you and your loved ones. It's important that we do what we do ethically and legally.
Yeah. Our second headline is, "World's first 3D printed neighborhood is built in Mexico."
Wow.
Rural families in the region of Tabasco in southern Mexico have been given new homes thanks to the project that is building the world's first 3D printed neighborhood.
Oh my gosh.
Is the work of a US-based nonprofit News Story, which has partnered with a 3D printing company to build the 500 square foot homes for a community living in poverty. It's part of the project working to combat global homelessness.
When I tell you that there are so many innovative things that are happening in order to provide solutions to some of the challenges that we face in society today, including homelessness and making sure that people get the jobs that they need to provide for their families. So this is wonderful news. Now, there are many reasons to highlight uplifting news in Latin America today, but especially due to our auspicious location in Broward County, which is an entryway and trade port to Latin America. Speaking of Broward County, we have a special guest, Mayor Dale Holness, who is the mayor of Broward County. Mayor Holness's past record of accomplishments includes representing District 9. District 9 represents by population ranking parts of or all of Fort Lauderdale, Lauderdale Lakes, Lauderhill, North Lauderdale, Oakland Park, Sunrise, Tamarack, and Plantation. Mayor Holness is active in many civic organizations, including serving as president of Sister City International, vice chair of Fort Lauderdale Broward County Enterprise Zone, life member of the NAACP, board member of 100 Black Men, Greater Fort Lauderdale chapter, and more. Oh my goodness, Mayor Holness, it's a pleasure to have you on our Uplifting News episode today.
It's great to be with you also this morning, and I'm so happy that you're doing uplifting news. We need to uplift our spirits, especially in these trying times that we're going through with this coronavirus.
Yes, absolutely. The first question we have for you, Mayor Holness, is what is some uplifting news that you would like to share with us?
So I I got to tell you, there's a lot of folks who are suffering and struggling from unemployment. But I learned a little tip that if you go online after midnight, you will be able to get your application processed.
Wow.
And that website, of course, is floridajobs.gov. So that's one good little tip that we have there for you. Go online after midnight, and you should be able to get it done. Also, many young people are on the line. Student loan. You are able to get a break on your student loan payments for up until September 30th.
Wow.
So that's an automatic forgiveness there, and many people are struggling. And part of what I like to share with them is that if they work with their bank, work with their credit card companies, they'll be able to get some delay in payments that they would normally have, and take a little bit of a breather from having those payments, since they probably don't have any income coming in at this point in time.
Right.
Okay.
And then I hear you start off with news from Latin America. And Spanish is the second most widely spoken language in the world.
That's true.
And while you have some time, you could probably learn that language. There's a book that I've utilized to help me, and that's Madrigal's Magic Key to Spanish.
Wow.
It basically gives you some ways of learning without just purely memorizing. Latin America is right here. It's a number one trading partner in the world when add together in terms of a continent. We do more business there than most anywhere else, and we have a surplus in terms of our trade with them. So what's beautiful about this book is that it tells you how to use what you already know in English to learn the language in Spanish. For example, a word like actor is pretty much the same except for pronunciation. Actor, doctor, tractor, inferior. And there are many words like that, like words that end in al, criminal, animal, canal. So I would recommend folks, while you have the time, pick this book up. Magical Magic Key to Learning Spanish. I find it very, very helpful. And since I'm not as young as many of you, I don't memorize as well.
No problem.
I mean, I'm hearing you, and you're sounding really good, Mayor Holness. I mean, I think that you could be teaching us a Spanish lesson a day or two.
Well, I got to tell you, if you use this book, I mean, it's amazing.
Wow.
It helps you with conjugation of verbs also.
Okay.
Like to dance, and I love to dance. Bailar.
Ooh,
bailando. Bailado. It just helps you in a real powerful and tremendous way to learn the language. And because also you should know that the second country with the most Spanish-speaking people in the world is this country, the United States of America. Only Mexico has more people that speak Spanish than the United States.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
That is truly amazing, truly amazing. And I want to thank you for sharing that. There are also apps that you can use for free to start, brushing up on your language skills so that you too can be speaking and sounding with that accent as Mayor Holness, all right? He can't be the only one with a great Spanish accent.
Well, our next question for you, Mayor Dale Holness, is what are ways in which we can stay involved and support your efforts while remaining quarantined?
Great question.
So I can tell you that just staying in touch with others, especially folks, older people who may be living alone, might be a good way for you to really reach out and touch. In addition to the fact that we have this health crisis and this economic downturn that we're facing, there are a lot of people who have some need to be touched so that their mind can be in a better place. Mental illness is a major thing that we don't pay attention to.
It's true.
And just touching and talking and sharing with others can help ease that pain.
Oh, that is absolutely true. We have to remember to stay connected and continue to keep each other spirits high. And you know, that is the reason why we created Uplifting News, because we wanted to make sure that everyone is keeping their energy up so they can continue to progress and develop themselves while we wait for this pandemic to be contained. So things are starting to change. We're very happy about that, and we're continuing to do the work that we've been called to do. Thank you so much, Mayor Holness. We are so honored that you joined us this morning to provide uplifting news from the Broward County government. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We now want to turn to our positive thoughts jar for our daily affirmation.
So we have our positive thoughts jar. Drum roll, please. The one we're going to be picking today is: logic will only get you so far. Imagination will take you places.
That is a really good one. Okay, so logic can only take you so far. Imagination will take you places. Mayor Holness, we want to ask you, what does that quote mean to you, or what does that affirmation mean to you?
Well, so for me, you know, you can have all the facts in front of you, and sometimes you still struggle with finding which pathway to go.
That's so true.
That's why it's important for you to be spiritually connected. I think having God in your life, helping you and helping to direct you is a very important source of inspiration. So you can imagine beyond where you are, and get a good understanding as to where you can be and what you can do beyond yourself. I think it's a very powerful statement.
I completely agree. You know, Mayor Holness, as you were speaking, I couldn't help but think about the bumblebee. And they said that according to logic, the bumblebee shouldn't be able to fly because the wings shouldn't be able to support the bumblebee's body. But yet, it still flies. If we just listen to logic, right? If that bumblebee just listened to logic, they'd say, I'd never fly. My body's too big to support my wings, right? Or my wings are too small. But instead, that bumblebee knows that it's going to fly. And because of that, they're able to soar, right? So we just want to share something. So Dan actually brought up a really amazing point today.
Well, you're probably wondering why we're wearing blue.
Light blue, together we're twinning.
It's because April 2nd was Autism Awareness Day. We wanted to remind everyone that we shouldn't just be aware of autism on one day of the year, but recognize it any day.
I think that is brilliant. Lastly, we want to share that we have a new term for our supporters. The word is
Uplifters.
We have launched our Uplifting News page under Uplifting News 2020, and we ask that our uplifters send us uplifting news to share with our growing audiences. Uplifters, you can share news article links or even take a 30-second video sharing the news from your heart.
And on our page, you guys will get a little sneak peek of behind the scenes.
Oh my goodness. Maybe even a bit of bloopers. We'll keep it interesting and entertaining. But anyway, my name is Kyra Eubanks, Miss Broward County.
And I'm Sudan Eubanks, Florida's future outstanding teen.
And Mayor Holness, do you mind closing us off?
Well, let me say this, that especially in these trying times, it's important that we show love and compassion to others.
Yes.
And share whatever we have. Together, as a community, we'll overcome this pandemic and get back to where we can work together again to ensure that we have prosperity and happiness for all our people.
Wow.
Together, we're better and we're stronger than COVID-19.
You know, I think those were such wise words, Mayor Holness. We are stronger than COVID-19. We hope that you stay uplifted. Tune in tomorrow for the next episode of Uplifting News. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, Mayor Holness.